What's up, guys? Phonic Strength here, back with the latest news on the world record breaking event with WUS. Latest news is that Rob Kearney is going to break his own log lift record. I feel like these records are just getting to a stage that the athletes are just doing it for a quick payout. The records don't really mean much to them. Like, you've got Tom Stoltman breaking his own record, you've got Rob Kearney breaking his own record. Like, fair enough, they're getting paid for it and they're becoming relevant, but my opinion is that it's not really necessary in the current conditions. Robert Oberst and Rob Kearney have a bit of banter back and forth about the whole record, but what I did notice was in the comments is that Rob Kearney was actually sticking the knife into Eddie Hall. He basically says that the whole 500 kilo was all set up for Eddie to pull it, and that it was unfair on the other athletes that were also attempting it because they celebrated his success of pulling it before they attempted it, which then caused them not to lift it. I mean, all I'm hearing from that is excuses. If you were going to lift it, you would make sure that you didn't cool down and that your hamstring wasn't going to pop off considering you're lifting 500 kilos. You would be making sure that your muscles are staying warm, keeping yourself in a good position to lift, and not blaming it on the fact that you had to wait 30 minutes to lift because they had a ceremony celebrating the first time somebody lifted 500 kilos. It's just pathetic excuses in my opinion, and Rob Kearney is obviously a friend of Thor by the sounds of that comment. My argument to back up what I've just said about that being a pathetic excuse is the fact that in Wembley in 2019, it was all set up for Jerry Pritchett to lift 501 kilos. There was so much hype behind that competition, and if I think back, he didn't even get to attempt it because he wasn't strong enough on the day. So, Jerry, what's your excuse this time? Is it still Eddie's fault, or are you going to admit that you just aren't strong enough to pull the weight? Saw this on Tom Stoltman's Instagram story, basically saying about Iron Biby's unofficial world record and saying how there's such a divide in the sport and it's not the same sport that he fell in love with 8 years ago. And I feel for Tom because it's true. But I also feel that if it was just decided that these are unofficial world records, everybody would be behind it and everybody would be supportive of it. It's because there's this controversy of whether it's a world record or whether it's not that's causing the divide in the sport. So I personally think they just need to make a federation to decide the rules of these records and say, yes, these are basically gym records that can be broken in the same conditions that they're set in. So if you want to break these records in your gym, you're breaking that gym record, but you're not breaking the actual official record because you're not setting it in the same conditions. And I feel that this is something that needs to be done before any of these records take place, or it will create a permanent divide in the sport, which is going to be a real shame. But the thing is, Tom Stoltman mentioned Iron Biby here. Iron Biby said on his post that this is an unofficial world record. He's not trying to claim that it's a world record. And I really admire Biby for this because he knows that he's the strongest presser in the world and isn't trying to get it official because he knows it himself. And he's such a nice guy as well. He also said on his post that he's going to do it in competition because that's the way that champions should be doing it, and that's the way forward. So I mean, some of the best guys in the world, except from the ones setting the records, are basically saying it should be done in competition, and the guys that are setting the records, they're getting a payday, so they don't really want to be saying anything controversial because they're getting paid for what they're doing, and it's a time where they're not able to make money in the sport because there's no competitions. So I can see it from all angles, but I personally think they need to make a decision on whether these are records or whether they're not, and so that we can move forward as a community, as a sport. But that's all for today, guys. I'll update you with any more news I can get my hands on. But yes, take care everyone, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.